Hello, hello, everybody. It's Mary with Stamps-N-Lingers, and it is 1 o'clock on Thursday, which means it is time for a Facebook Live video. I'm going to tell you just straight up right now, in case the video quits, we're having thunder going along. I think it's away from us, but just in case I lose you, you'll know that's what the problem is. I had a little hard time getting into Facebook at all, so I may be having some internet issues. We'll try to get through it as best we can. So I have I did Halloween or Christmas this morning, so it seems reasonable that we would do Halloween for tomorrow's card. And this is the card that you will see. It uses hey Rosie, it uses the Best Witches stamp set. It's a standalone set. It doesn't have dies with it. But it does coordinate nicely with a couple of the other Halloween, the Scary Cute bundle and the, the Bewitching bundle. So there's a couple that coordinate together, and I have added the stylish shapes. If you guys don't have stylish shapes, please get it. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. Get stylish shapes. You will want it forever, I assure you. All right, so let's get started. This one's kind of fun. I mean, I think it's fun, she says modestly. I came up with it all about that. And you're right, Faith, the frog is the best. It is, I mean, look at that expression on his face. Seriously? It's like, really? Whatever. That is frog for whatever. So I made a little peekaboo window card. So you have your front sentiment, and then you open it up, and there he is. And I did a little something different. This is popped up. Can you see that word is popped up on a dimensional? I was like, why not? Who says I can't? Where's the rule that says I can't do that? So there's our card. And I, of course, had to use the frog again and some of the black and white designs DSP. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. And we are going to start by adhering a piece of the black and white designs. We're not going to adhere it quite yet because I want to make a cut, all right? What I did do, I needed this is the largest square in the stylish shape set, and I cut one piece out of my mat for my card front. So that's a pretty good, handy little way to save a little cardstock, especially if you're running low on a color. If you need a big die cut, cut it right out of the center of your mat. I don't recommend doing that on the inside because if somebody's writing, they're going to write across that bump and it's going to make it weird. So don't do that. Don't do that. What I want to do before we get too far along is I am going to lay the DSP on top of the mat just like it's going to be. And then I'm going to cut my window. All right. And I'm going to cut it down here in the bottom right corner. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut through both pieces at once. And then we're going to do the same in the card base. And I'll show you how that happens. Hang on just a second while I cut this. It's nothing special. So there's no particular reason to do it on camera. Besides that, it shakes the table something fierce. All right, so I'm just going to cut that hole like so. And when you pull it out of the cutter, you're going to have like that. Okay, so I'm going to leave everything together just like it is. And I have a Granny Apple Green card base. And what I'm going to do, because of course, you know, crushed curry and Granny Apple Green just scream Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up like so. And I'm going to set it in place. I mean, we know where that's going to go, right? It's going to go like right there. And then I'm going to place the die back in this window. And I'm going to run it through. And it is not going to cut all the way through, but I'm going to show you what to do. Okay? So I'm just recutting one more time. So I'm cutting with the card front and the mat in place on the card base. And I'll show you what you're going to end up with. Hang on. Show you what you're ending up with. So when I take this mat off, I have the impression of the die cut. So what has that done? It has shown me where to cut. All right. So let's go ahead. Hey, Doris. Hey, Carol. I'm going to just place this die right back in position because I know exactly where it needs to go now. And then I'm going to cut it again. And then I will have created my window, and it will be right where I wanted it to be. Or it'll be where I put it, even if that turns out to not be where I wanted it. No, not really. Of course it's where I wanted it. All right. And so here we go. Like so. And then this is going to layer on here and then layer over the top. And then we're going to be able to peekaboo through to the back, okay? So easy peasy. Now I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue to adhere the mat and the card front together. And I want to use liquid glue here because I want to be able to be sure that I get the card front on the mat with the holes all lined up. All right, so I get that extra little bit of squiggle wiggle room with the liquid glue. Now, if you're really, really good and highly confident, which I never am, you could use Stampin' Seal, but I recommend using the liquid glue. Okay? Like so. And then this, at some point in the not too distant future, will layer right like that on the card front. Actually, since I know what's going on, I can just do that right now. What I'll do is I'm going to adhere this with liquid glue to the card front, not with the dimensional like I normally would, but I'll put it on the card front and line those holes right up. And then all of that lining and taking care of and making sure it's all right will be all done, and all we'll have to do is play. Okay, so this way now, if we happen to lose the internet, you've seen how to make the window. There. Done. Now, I'll show you how we're going to make this. Thank you, Susan. Hey, Catherine. Yes, indeed. We're listening to it too. It is not even sort of like it was 2 weeks ago, so I feel pretty confident we aren't going to have a well house fire, but I don't feel confident in the internet because, you know, it's internet. Okay, so here's how we're going to do the inside, the little froggy man. The froggy man. Again, in case I lose the internet, you'll know how to do this. I have just set my inner liner on top of my crushed curry mat, and I'll set it in place because I do know, once again, I know where it's going to go. And then I'm going to close that. I'm going to ink my little frog man in tuxedo black. Make sure I'm getting a good image. Yep, I am. Move that out the way. And then we're just going to stamp. It happens to be, I don't know how it happened that way, but it happens to be just perfect to stamp him right in the middle of our window, like so. And then when I open him up, there he'll be, and we're going to color him in just a second. Okay, so that can set aside for just a minute, and I'm going to do a little coloring. Now, do not be freaked out by the number of Stampin' Right markers and things that I use. You can color your witch any which way you like. Get it? Did you see what I did there? You can color your witch any which way. Ha, ha, ha. Hey, Linda, appreciate you joining. I forgot it was Thursday, too. So this is the little Bubble Toil and Trouble Witch from Best Witches, and I've just stamped her in tuxedo black on basic white and cut her again with the same die. So it's just the largest of the stitched, the stylish shape. I'm going to call it stitch shapes until I die, probably. Stylish shapes dies. So now let's go ahead and do a little coloring. I decided to use smoky slate instead of black, because the smoky slate was less black, and I just wanted it to be a little softer, not quite as stark as a black would be. Now, you're probably going, oh my Lord, is she going to really color the whole thing? Yes, I am. I'm going to color this whole thing, and I'm going to make you watch. Or, you know, you can leave. Obviously, you can leave. But I'm going to color her. She's going to be all black, because she's a traditional witch with an all black hat. Obviously, she could have any color hat you want. And I'll tell you what else, too. Here's just a thing. That's just all I'm saying. This hat right here would be a super, super cute candidate for some paper piecing. So you could give her a flowery hat, or you could give her a hat with stars, or you could do almost anything. And what you would do is stamp this image on a piece of DSP, whatever you wanted her hat to look like. And then you would fussy cut the outside linings, the outside edge of the hat. That's what you would do. Now we're also going to make her cape smoky slate. And I've started with the light blend. And then I'm going to come back and add the dark one just to give it a little bit of texture. This is very, very high level coloring. I would not expect yours to be nearly as wonderful as mine is your first couple of 100 million times, because, you know, you see what an amazing colorer I am. It's sort of crazy, really. I'm just going to put a little bit, I'm going to make this little band a little darker. And with the blend, you can blend. That's what's kind of cool about it. And I know some people get worried when I leave my blends open, but I really haven't had a lot of trouble with them. I also don't take 3 hours to make the colors because, you know, that's just not how I roll. So they're not open that awfully long, really. I mean, in the big scheme of things. So you saw what I did there. I took some of the dark and I just outlined the image a little bit, and then I came back and it's just giving a little bit of texture. And right now I am so not looking at the comments. So if you say something that if you have a question, hang tight. I think Rosie's on and maybe Rosie can answer. And if not, ask again because they all scroll. Oh, Doris, I'm so glad you want to watch me color because I have to color it. I was going to color it ahead of time, and then I thought, well, then there really won't be anything to show them at all, because this is a big coloring card for sure. Okay, so there's her hat. I'm pretty happy with her cape. You could make it black if you preferred, but I just kind of like the little bit softer. Now, I wanted her to have a green. I wanted her to be green. Okay, and none of the greens. I didn't want her to be so dark. I wanted her to be old olive, but not so dark. So I went with the old olive watercolor pencil, and I'm just going to color in her face. I mean, any good witch is green, even if she has to use makeup, which I think this one did. You're going to be able to tell here pretty quick that she is kind of a fashionista. She knows how to dress, I'm not going to lie. And she knows about coloring her hair. Did I ever tell you guys that the last time I went and had my hair done, it may shock you to know, but I do get highlights in my hair. I've become enough vain as I've aged that highlights work. And you know what they do? They're like, well, let's just put a few little highlights around your face to highlight your face. And then the next thing you know, it's like, well, maybe a few more highlights would be good. And then you're finally like, well, dude, just, you know, like half and half highlights, half not highlights, because it's like a gateway thing. Okay, so now she's got a little bit of a green tinge to her face. And it seemed reasonable to me when I thought it through that she would probably have fresh freesia hair. So she does. Fresh freesia hair. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. Fresh freesia hair. Yep. There we go. And we all know how good green and pink go together, so she's decided to outfit herself in polished pink. You know, pink and green is a thing. It's a real thing, and everybody knows it, even witches, or perhaps especially witches. Now, polished pink is my favorite pink of maybe all time. I love it, love it, love it. If you don't have the polished pink blend, okay, first of all, get it, or, you know, you can use whatever color works for you. So then I'm going to take the dark polished pink blend, and I'm going to color her little underdress. I mean, she's not really out there. Like, she could have a purple underdress, but this little girl isn't. She's a little more cool. She's a little more laid back. But she did pull on her Orchid Oasis tights today. Like I said, don't freak out. If you don't have all these colors, that's fine. I mean, obviously you're going to want to get them because they're amazing. But you can make her any colors that you want. See, Doris, I am very, very fortunate to not need to color any gray at this point. I'm certain it will come. Everything else has come, so I see no reason that this wouldn't either. But I just like it. It just kind of makes me look like I've been out in the sun a lot more than I actually have. So I'm using the dark smoky slate blend to color her cauldron very carefully. And I'm still talking, so it's risky because it's not letting me hold my tongue just right, but whew, made it through. I made it through. Okay. Alrighty. And then I'll use my soft suede for the logs. Like that. And then I'm going to use my light Daffodil Delight for the flames and a little bit of pumpkin pie. Like that. That just looks like flames that are bubble, bubble, toiling and troubling, huh? I know. Now let's see. I think I'll take my dark Daffodil Delight blend and color her buckle. Now this makes me think of a pilgrim buckle, but I could, I'm pretty sure those were diametrically opposed. So that's probably not a pilgrim buckle. Okay, there we go. So there we go. I know, right, Marianne? So she is a fashionista. I'm just saying, hey, Amy. So now what I'm going to do, that I have her all done, is I'm going to find my card base. Oh, here we go. Okay. And I am going to adhere my mat with some liquid glue. You'll be glad to know that is almost the extent of the coloring. We're going to color our frog, but he doesn't take a half a second. I'm just going to put that there like that. And then I'm going to pop her on with some dimensionales. The dimensionales. Oh, there's some thunder getting closer. The other morning, I put the horses out, and as I was walking out of the barn, I heard the thunder hit, and I was like, okay. And I don't usually in the day, unless it's really, really going to be bad, I don't usually keep them up. They don't like to stay up particularly. They like to stand out in a cool rain. But I could just see them, and so I stood at the end of the barn, and I stood at the end of the barn holding them, and they were like, what in the world, Mom? And I thought, oh, it'll be okay, and I put them out. And then as soon as they got to the end of the barn lane, the arena lane, out onto the arena in the wide open, here starts the thunder going, boom, boom, boom. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So fortunately, when I called them back to me, they came back to me. I think they were like, Mom, you let us out in the middle of a thunderstorm. What were you thinking? All right, so I'm going to just put that right there. Oh, I forgot to put my stars on. Okay, everybody hold your tongues just right for me. I am going to attempt, hold on tight. I'm going to try to stamp some stars. When you make this card, stamp the stars first before you pop it on, okay? So we're going to see if I can make it work. Pretty close. I'll fix that. There we go. I can fix that. Just take my... This is why you have your Stampin' Right markers, people. I'm just saying. I'm going to very carefully just fix that right there like that. And that's going to end up being covered by my sentiment anyway, so I'm not going to get real head up about it. But stamp your stars first. It'll be a lot easier than doing it on the with the Stampin' Dimensionals under it. Just throwing that out there. Okay, so let's talk sentiment. What I did here, this is for later, is I stamped my sentiment Best Witches on a piece of basic white, and I cut it out with the banner for no reason. Well, it was a reason, because this is what I thought I was going to use originally, and then I changed my mind. Gazpacho, yum! Yum! I know, right, Tara? It was really close. I almost borked it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, instead of using this, is I'm just going to fussy cut these two words out like this. This is pretty easy fussy cutting. Pretty much anybody can do this. Amy. And then I'm going to cut them in the middle like that. Then, and only then, I'm going to take my polished pink Stampin' Right marker, the brush end, and I'm going to color the edges. Why? Because I can. And because I like Granny Apple Green and Polished Pink together. So the more of it I can put together on this card, the happier I will be. You can do it, Amy. You can do it. See, I played with a lot of ways to put the sentiment on, including that banner that you just saw, and I decided this was the right way. And so it's the way I did. You can do what you like. I'm just, saying, you do you. You do you. It's become my new motto. You do you. So I'm going to use a little bit of liquid glue, and I'm going to put this on at kind of a jaunty angle like that. And then we'll put witches down below it. Like so. Okay. And then we're going to move on to our Frogga, who we have already stamped, and I'm just going to color him a little bit. I'm going to stamp his stars. I'm going to give him some stars. Actually, I'm not going to do that yet. We're going to put our sentiment in. So here's how I did this sentiment. I first stamped the sentiment, which is right, not where I can see it. Oh, right in front of me. I'm going to stamp You've Put a Spell on Me in Polished Pink, and I'm going to do a real good test right here, making sure that if I stamp it straight, it'll be as straight as I can make it, and it looks like it'll be pretty darn close. So I'm going to stamp this right in the middle of my card front. And I also stamped it on another piece of white in Granny Apple Green. Okay. And then you'd pull out a die. No. And then I cut this one out as well. And I cut it real close to the word. Much closer than the others. Okay. Like so. See, it's barely got any, doohickey. Border. There it is. And then I'm going to take that Polished Pink again. Color the edges because I like it. And I think it gives it a little bit of a definition. And I want it to make it look very intentional. Like I really, really meant to do this. Not like I made a mistake at all, which I totally didn't. The other option, of course, is that you could use your Stamparatus and you could use markers to color the words that you wanted. But I liked how this turned out. My own self. So then I'm going to take that dimensional and I'm going to put this right over the word spell. And you can see why you want it to be very close because you don't want to block the rest of the words. But I think it's really fun like that. All right, so let's go ahead and add some stars and then we're going to color our Froggly. Make sure I'm getting good image there. I'm going to put the stars right around the sentiment. Like that. And it's kind of a nice image because you can see it's obviously meant to do that. Hello. All right, now let me get a drink because my throat's starting to tickle. A sure sign I'm yakking too much. I'm going to take my Granny Apple Green markers and I'm going to color Mr. Frog. I know you've all seen a Granny Apple Green frog. I'm certain you have. They're indigenous to the South. I just made that up. I don't have any idea. But I'm pretty sure I've seen them. Well, I've certainly seen lizards this color. So it seems like God wouldn't waste Granny Apple Green on just one species. So apparently there's a Granny Apple Green. Actually, it's a tree frog. Tree frogs are this color. Truly, truly. And then I'm going to take the dark one and I'm going to give his eyelids a little help. And I'm going to give his legs a little darkening. Like that. There we go. Oh, he's so cute. And then I'm going to take my Polished Pink, I don't even know which one this is, light, and we're going to give him a little ground. Like that. Okay. Now we'll adhere him to our crushed curry There you go. See? Granny apple green frogs. They're everywhere. I wasn't even making it up. It's true. It's true. We'll put him on our crushed curry mat. The face kills me. It just kills me. And then we're going to put him inside our window peekaboo card with liquid glue again. You know me, I act like I'm only using liquid glue because I want the wiggle room, but in truth, I'm just a liquid girl kind of girl. Just a liquid girl kind of girl. Make sure he's centered like I want, and he is. I'm very happy with his positioning. Give him a little push, and there's our card. Done and done. So let's do a quick envelope. Do we have time? Oh yes, we are like cooking with gas here today. All right, Mr. Frog in tuxedo. That's how you'd say it on the continent. No, I don't know. I haven't made that up again. A little bit of ground. Obviously, pink ground makes perfect sense to somebody somewhere. And I think he should have some stars, don't you? Thanks, guys. I appreciate you. I appreciate you so much. Crushed curry stars. Purple clovers. Blue moons. I don't like that, so we'll put some more right there. There we go. And then we're going to color them. Now, here's a tip. When you are using your blends on an envelope, do one of two things. Slide a plastic something or other in there to protect, because the Stampin' blends can very easily go through the thin paper of the envelopes, and you could get it on the back, and you don't want that. Or just use the delicate touch of a beautiful flower in the breeze, like I am going to use. In other words, don't color, just color like that. See, it'll help a lot if you say it like that. And now I'm coloring my little frog, my happy little frog who does not look at all happy. You know why? Because he's pretty sure he's next in the pot, I'm afraid. But this is a benevolent witch. You can tell because she's wearing her pink dress. Only benevolent witches would wear a pink dress. Otherwise, it's like, it's bait and tip, Matt. Bait and tip. Bait and switch. Okay, darken his eyebrows, eyelids, and his little leggies. And we'll put a little bit of DSP on our flap, and then I'm going to make some bubbles in the toil and trouble area, and then it'll be done. And then it'll really actually be done, instead of the fake done that I've just made you think it was. Here you were like, oh gosh, she's actually going to be done on time today. Nope. Psych. Black and white designs. I really played with using the other side. This is kind of fun. The opposite sides of these papers are white on black versus black on gray. And it's, but I thought, I really liked how the little froggy man popped against the black. So there you go. That's why. It was very well thought out. And we'll give this another little easy fussy cut. Okay, now that's the envelope. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these Parakeet Party little matte. These are 2022-24 in color matte decorative dots. And so I'm going to take some of these Parakeet Party little ones, and I'm going to put them right there. And these are kind of ombre, so I'm going to use a couple of different shades like that. Now, there you go. And then, you know, I did toy with this. Tell me what you think. I'm going to give you 2 seconds to give me a yes or a no. Are you ready? The spell only works if the frog goes in. Oof, that's a harsh spell. I thought about giving her an earring. What do you think? I'm going to leave it on the tip and let you tell me. Earring yes or earring no? Go. Okay, I have thumbs up. I'm going to need yeses or nos because I'm not sure whether thumbs up is just because it's totally adorable or because you think it should have earrings. Yes, earrings? Okay. I see a yes. I see a yes. Okay. But I think it shouldn't be Starry Night. I think it should be Orchid Oasis because she would be coordinating with her stockings like that. There you go. And then I think I'll just go ahead and put that on my sample too. There we go. She's got her little earring. How cute! Oh, we had half yeses and half nos. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the sample off. I'm going to take the one off the sample from that you'll see. No, I'm not, because that dot doesn't come. Sorry, everybody. Just don't put an earring on yours if you don't like it. Okay, guys, I appreciate you spending time. I'm so glad we had internet for the entire 30 minutes. And I hope you will pick up Best Witches. Even if you don't love Halloween, it's just too cute not to have it. All right, guys, we'll see you on Saturday. Have a great rest of your week. Ta!